9.4 Permutations. Permutations are an arrangement or listing of objects in which the order is important. For example, your class schedule. The order of your classes does matter because each class has an assigned class period. And we'll talk further about that tomorrow. In how many ways can the starting 6 players of a volleyball team stand in a row for a picture? And I know that myself saying or the definition of a permutation, that order does matter. It does matter in this case. It's putting them in an order from 1 to 6. You're going to see in some of the next couple of examples where it's more defined. It's going to tell you position 1, position 2, or 3rd place and 4th place and so forth. And here it doesn't necessarily, but it is still a permutation. Order does still matter. You're putting them in a row for that particular picture. So to do this, we're going to use the permutation, which is an actual factorial, and it's called, in this case, in how many ways can the starting 6 players of a volleyball team stand in a row for a picture? Since you have 6 players and there are going to be 6 different positions, 1 through 6, okay, it is what we call 6 factorial, okay? This exclamation point is called factorial, okay? F-A-C-T-O-R-I-A-L, factorial. Now, when you do 6 factorial, you're going to start with the first position, okay? Position number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because you're lining them up, okay? These are the positions. The first position, you would have a possibility of choosing, of having 6 different people in that position. In the second position, you now, because one of them is going to be used here, you would have 5 possibilities. For the third position, you would only have 4 possibilities because you've already used 2 of them here. Well, someone's going to be standing there, so you only have 4 possibilities for the third position. For the fourth position, you have only 3, and the fifth, you only have 2, and the last one, there's only going to be 1 person left over, which is 1. Okay, so then you literally multiply these together. 6 times 5 is 30, times 4 more is 120, times 3 more is 360, times 2 more is 720, times 1 is 720 possibilities. Okay, so how many ways can the starting 6 players of a volleyball team stand in a row for a picture? There's actually 720 different ways that you could arrange all of these classmates, okay, or players. That's a lot. And again, it always seems like there can't possibly be 720 different ways, but there honestly is, the way you can arrange those. Okay? So the answer to this, in how many ways can you? 720. Now, this is a little different because, well, let's read through it. It says a team of bowlers has 5 players who bowl one at a time. In how many ways can they bowl? This one isn't any different. I apologize. It's very similar to that. So go ahead and solve this and hit pause. So if you have 5 members of a bowling team at a time, how many orders can they bowl? It is going to be 5 factorial. So it's going to be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So 5 times 4 is 20, times 3 more is 60, times 2 more is 120, and times 1 obviously is going to give you 120. So 120 possible ways. Okay, that's 5 factorial. Now, at a school fair, it holds a raffle with first, second, and third prizes. 7 people enter the raffle. What is the probability that Mark will win first, Heather wins second, and Sarah win third prize? Well, what you need to do is realize that there's only a first, a second, and a third place. Okay? Well, how many people could be in first place? How many different possibilities if there are 7 people? Well, there are 7. If there's a second place, how many could there be? Well, we've already used 1 here. There would be 6 left over. And the same thing for third place. We've used a first and a second, so there would be 5 possibilities. This is not going to be 7 factorial. This is going to simply be, because order again matters, and you must make certain that there's only these 3 positions. Okay, we're not listing 7 different positions. We are only worried about first, second, and third. So again, we have 7 people, therefore it's 7 times 6, which is 42, times the 5, which is going to be 210 possible ways. Now what you have to look at is the probability that Mark will win first, Heather second, and Sarah third. Well, there's only one possible way. There's only one of these individuals listed. And there's only one possible way that they could be in that particular order. So it's simply 1 out of 210. That's your probability for that answer. Okay? So let's look at the next one. It says 2 different letters are randomly selected from the letters in the word math. Okay? This is the word that they're going to select them from. And again, how many letters are in that word? 4. What is the probability that the first letter selected is M and the second letter is H? So this is very similar to what you just did on letter C, other than, but it's just worded a little differently. So again, how many letters do you have? There are 4 letters, okay? M-A-T-H, and there are going to be 2 different letters randomly selected from that word, okay? So letter 1 and letter 2. So how many possible ways? And again, there's the word math. There's 4 letters. So what would the probability be that the first letter is an M? Well, how many M's are there? 1. Okay. So 4 possibilities. Okay. There's 4 letters listed here. You're randomly pulling them out of a bag. Okay. So what is the probability? Well, 4 possible letters. So there's 4 for the first letter. What is the probability for the second letter? Well, there's only 3 of them. Okay, so again, 2 different letters are randomly selected from the word math. Okay, so the first letter drawn is again 4 possibilities. The second letter drawn, there are only 3 possibilities. So a total of 12, because you're going to multiply that together, 4 times 3, 12 possibilities. And then again, what is the probability that the first letter selected is an M, second letter is an H? There's only one possibility that that it could be in that order. There's only one of those letters from each one. Okay, so the possibility of that being is 1 out of 12. Okay, so again, the probability is always related. Now, if there were more than some of the same letters, then it would change us a little bit, and we're not going to get into that this year, but you will eventually. So again, M, second letter, and H. Since there's only one of each, there's only one possible way that you could do that. Okay, so possibility of 1 out of a total of 12. We're going to talk further about this tomorrow, but that is the logistics of it all. The biggest thing that you need to pay attention to is if they are asking you for only 2 letters, then you only have 2 spots for the total amount of letters that are given. That's why it's 4 times 3. If we were trying to find 3 letters, then it would be 4 times 3 times 2. But again, in this case, there's just 2 of them, or if there was maybe 1 letter they wanted to know about, then it would just be 4. Okay. Questions, again, please hold on to those, and we'll talk about them tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great day.